the hell is up with Jacob Fatu's promos? Something is missing, something is wrong, and something is off. And this is exactly what I was afraid of. Now let me start by saying this. I don't put any fault on Jacob Fatu. This is why I'm always concerned for black and Samoan wrestlers. Because a lot of times lately in WWE, they almost seem one and the same. The WWE creative team is already having a tough time writing material for people that they can relate to. How on God's green earth is WWE gonna write material for Jacob Fatu? Just how? And who? Who will be the person spearheading that project? We saw the Usos struggle for a long time to find their identity in this company. And then even when the Usos found their voice, it just so happened to be at the Uso penitentiary. And what the hell does the penitentiary have to do with wrestling? And as much as the Usos have improved, there are still times now where Jey Uso is struggling with the promos. This past Monday night, Jey Uso did pretty good with his promo against CM Punk. And that's because, for once in a while, the writing was actually good. There's actually a premise and a story to tell. Initially, I thought CM Punk was doing too much by making the statement that he made. But the way that the storytelling naturally progressed to the Usos getting involved, I thought was pretty clever. When the right story is being told, then the promos from any wrestler could feel natural. Almost 70% of the things Jacob Fatu is saying is not natural. There are little pockets in the promos where he's being himself and it fits correctly. This whole situation with Drew McIntyre quitting on SmackDown just to come back and cost Jacob Fatu the match against Trick Williams, this is when we start to move 3 steps backwards and in a very wrong direction. I guess since I'm talking about Jacob Fatu, I have to include Drew McIntyre, since they're the planned match for WrestleMania. Plus, Drew McIntyre is the opponent from which I'm seeing how unnatural these promos are from Jacob Fatu. In the last segment, I talked about how Cody Rhodes only seems to really shine against the legends. I didn't think that Cody Rhodes had a good feud with Drew McIntyre. For it to be the WWE Championship that was involved in that feud, this actually was one of the weaker feuds that Cody Rhodes has had. And then now heading into WrestleMania, this is the most disappointed I've been in a Jacob Fatu promo. And what a coincidence, Drew McIntyre is involved. So this is 2 times in a row that Drew McIntyre is involved in a feud where he's not getting the best out of his opponents. I hate that I'm even having to say this right now, because not too long ago, I said that Drew McIntyre was just about my favorite wrestler on the WWE roster. But just like the first song from Biggie Small's first album, things done changed. Drew McIntyre might be the problem. I just don't know how right now. He has all the potential in the world. And when Drew McIntyre had his feud with CM Punk, I thought he was ready to go to the next level. I was disappointed Drew McIntyre didn't get a match against John Cena. I even suggested that Drew McIntyre could have retired John Cena. So I honestly don't know what's going on or how to fix it. I gotta admit, I'm stumped. On the bright side, everything could be corrected at WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre has to have one of these matches that could steal the show. You hearing it first on Worldwide Classic. He's having this match against Jacob Fatu after all. All questionable promos to the side, Jacob Fatu is in the best shape of his career. And let's be honest, even if he wasn't, Jacob Fatu is still about to show up and show out. This is Jacob Fatu's first WrestleMania. I don't expect nothing less than a 5-star performance. I want to say a 5-star classic match. And from what I'm seeing, it looks like that's up to Drew McIntyre. I'm starting to be under the belief that Jacob Fatu shouldn't even be doing a lot of talking. A lot of times when I bring up Jacob Fatu, I gotta bring up Umaga. Because in my mind, That's who Jacob Fatu resembles. And not just in physical appearance, but how he competes in the ring. Umaga didn't do any talking. He just did a lot of screaming and hollering and whooping people's ass. So sorry, but not sorry. That's the type of tradition I want to see Jacob Fatu carry on. So I don't know if this means that Jacob Fatu needs a manager. Me personally, I've repeatedly said I don't think that Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu should have ever been separated. A lot of people have said that Jacob Fatu needed to go solo. I'm just under the belief that Jacob Fatu needed to go with Solo. The WWE doesn't have honest to God heels and villains. They just don't. They have guys that play both sides of the fence. Even when Seth Rollins was around. Technically, he was supposed to be a heel. He's almost connecting with the crowd. The fans are singing the song. And Seth Rollins, along with the Vision, were supposed to be the big heels on Monday Night Raw. So that's really my case in point. But that brings me back over to Jacob Fatu and my disappointment in WWE not keeping him with Solo Sikoa. And then look what Solo Sikoa is doing now. He's still running with the mob. And Jacob Fatu should have been the right-hand man. It's not about taking a back seat to anybody or playing second string. It's just about playing your part. Just because Jacob Fatu is ultra talented doesn't mean that he has to run off on his own. If we want to talk about real psychology and making sense, why would family be split up and separated when they could be unified and dominate? Most importantly, they'll be more intimidating together. Part of the reason that people thought Jacob Fatu should split from Solo is because people didn't believe in the process. A lot of fans didn't believe that Solo Sikoa was gonna improve, both with personality and on the microphone. But what a surprise. Solo Sikoa has stepped it up in both of those categories. And he would have been the perfect person to do most of the talking for Jacob Fatu. For me, it was zero harm in that. You're still creating that mystery for Jacob Fatu. That's part of the aura that helps you stay dangerous and stay important to the fans. Just like any other TV show, it's about bringing the fans back every week for more. WWE is not curating the proper material for people to want to see what Jacob Fatu is doing on a week-to-week basis. Other than the action in the ring, I don't feel like Jacob Fatu is even establishing a real identity. He just seems like the wrestler that's going to show up and whoop some ass and then go put on a hip-hop concert. Can you imagine how dangerous the MFT group could be if they had Jacob Fatu instead of JC? And that's nothing against JC. He's just not an actual family member like Jacob Fatu is. Jacob Fatu should be dangerous. There should be no other adjective to describe him. He shouldn't be cool, he shouldn't be funny, and he damn sure shouldn't be a good guy. I'm really eager to see how the WWE is going to correct this issue. Because whether they want to admit it or not, and whether fans want to realize it or not, WWE is on the verge of watering down Jacob Fatu. Yo, what's going on with it? I'm Southside Tre. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Full Time Digital House, and follow me on all social media, Southside_Tre. Appreciate y'all.